So we're going to be doing today 3 drawings. And in Classroom, I've already posted a copy of them. You should be able to see pretty easily what my drawings are. I have lighting to make this a little easier. Drawing 1 is a rectangular box. And what I've done to try to make this a little easier for you is, in addition to posting copies of these in Classroom, I put a grid inside the drawing. These grid lines are not actually part of the drawing. They're just there to make it easier to see what exactly is happening. So I have drawing 1, I have drawing 2, and I have drawing 3. So these are the 3 drawings we'll look at. As a quick refresher, first of all, what I've done is for each drawing, I gave you the overall measurements. So these are all 8x4 by 3 units overall. The isometric drawings are going to be a little smaller than these. These are made larger so they're easier to see on the camera. And we will go through how to create them. The first thing I want to do is I want to review very briefly what an orthographic drawing is. So remember that an orthographic or multi-view drawing is one that takes a 3-dimensional object and breaks it down into multiple flat 2D orthographic projections. So the orthographic projection shows you one side of a face with its exact measurements, but completely flat. And so if you have a face that is just a rectangle, it's just going to look like a rectangle. And each of these 2D projections, because it's 2D, can only show 2 of our 3 dimensions. So the 3 dimensions that we've dealt with are height, depth, and length or width. And the front view will show you length, which is a measurement from left to right, and height, which is a measurement from top to bottom. Now the top view, right above it, will also show you length, but instead of showing you height, it'll show you depth, which is the measurement from front, right here, to back, right here. The side view will show you height and depth, but it won't show you the length. So you got front here and back here, top here, bottom here, left here, right here. Now in an isometric drawing, what we'll have our 3 axes. I'm going to very briefly just give you a refresher on that. So our vertical line is going to show us height. So vertical means straight up and down. Now, if we were looking at the top corner of something, this would show us a Y. The left side of the Y is going to show us the length of the shape, or the width. As I said before, I'll take either term, and then the right side will show the depth. And so you'll see that whenever you do this. And this can take a variety of forms. So give me 1 second. I'm going to color this. I'm going to show you a few different ways this can look. Just grab my blue pen. Yeah, this will be blue enough. So if we say that our pinkish reddish color is going to be our height, our green is going to be our depth, and our bluish purple is going to be our length. we can see a variety of different colors. So this would be if we were looking at something from above. But if we were looking at something from a different angle, it might look a little different. So our height is always going to be a vertical line. But our length might sometimes be shown to the right. However, remember, it's still going to be on the same angle. It's still going to be that line that goes up and to the left. And so if you had a shape that was be a little more complex, you might end up with something a little more like this. And depending on what else happens, you might find that this is either looking from above on an inside corner, or you might be looking from below on an outside corner, depending on what else is drawn. So we could have more length. More lines in height, and more lines showing the depth. So you can start seeing how this might take shape. And I do have one missing line still, so I'm going to fill that in. But you can see that while the lines might be to the left or right of the vertical line, everything going in depth is green. Everything showing length is purple. Everything showing height is pink. So let's take a look at how to draw the first drawing. Make a quick note of the timestamp so I can tell you when you come back into this what timestamp it is. So that would be at 8:05. So the first drawing we already know is a simple box. Our front view has 8 units in length and 4 units in height. So the way I would do that, I'm going to start up here in the corner because I'm going to put all 3 of these drawings on the same piece of isometric paper. I'm also going to take this out from under so that it doesn't give us weird shadows. So I'm going to make sure I leave myself enough room. So I'm going to come down 4. We go over. Now, it's going to be a horizontal line in an orthographic drawing, but here, remember, it goes on an angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our height is 4, not 3. So that's an important thing to always watch out for. So that's going to be my front view. It's just like the front view here, if you were to take these lines and do that to them. And to show my depth, I can look at the top view and the side view. I can see that throughout, my depth is 3 units. So in my depth line, remember that line going up and to the right, I have 3, 3, and 3. I'm going to draw the line showing the height in the back, and draw the line showing the length in the back. And that is the end of drawing 1. And if you're watching the recording, this is a great time to pause it. Now for drawing 2, what we would want to look at is our orthographic drawing. So I have a copy of it right here. And if you take a look at the front view, you can see an L shape. And then you can see that the depth is consistent throughout. Now here our measurements are 4, 2, 2, 1, 7, 8. So what I would do is I'll keep this right over here so you can see it. For drawing 2, I'm going to come down 4 units for height. I go over 1. So remember my length is going to be shown at that angled line. I come down 2. I go over 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go down 2. Then I come over 8. Now my depth is a consistent 3. So it's going to look a lot like the, what's it called, Tetris L blocks we had done before. However, the proportions are different. So remember, proportions are essentially the shape, the size of each individual piece of it. So I'm going to show the depth, length, height, depth 1, 2, 3, depth 1, 2, 3, height, and I'm going to join this with a line showing length. And that is the end of drawing 2. Next class, we're going to start looking at things like more complex depth. All of our drawings are relatively simple for depth right now. We'll also start looking at angles. So let's take a quick look at drawing 3. I'm making a quick note of our timestamp. So drawing 3 is a little bit trickier. So we have a rectangular box, just like the third one, same overall measurements, but you can see these 3 rectangles. And what that means is that we have this L-shaped face and another face. To be able to start identifying the face, we can take a look. We can see that this line right here is the same height as this line right here, because this line is showing how deep this face right here is. So we can see it's 1 unit from the back, from the front. Same thing here. This line is showing this as showing that it's 1 unit from the back, because it has to match up between these 2. And so what I'll see is I'll see 3 L shapes and 3 rectangles. And the 2 main ways of drawing it, one way would be, I'm going to do it this way. So I'll just very briefly mention, if you wanted to, you could draw a shape just like this one, and then start drawing where those cuts are. And then connect the lines here, and that would make the shape. So you can actually see roughly what that looks like, and then you would erase what you want, or what you don't want. I'm going to go through, I'm just going to draw the faces as they are from the start. So this is 4, 3, 8, 2, 2, and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go up 2. Go over 3. Go down 2 and go over 5. So that's going to give me this L. Now up here, I can see I go back 3. I go back 1. I go over 5, just like here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll see that that doesn't match up there, but that means it's going to come down and over. I go over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember that for you guys, it's a good idea to use a ruler. I'm just not doing that so you can see where I'm drawing. I'm going to come down by 4 units for height, my 3 units for depth, and now right here I can see 1 unit for depth and come up here. So now I have L, L, and L, And so what we're going to do now is this face right here, visible in the side view, this line shows depth. So I'm going to draw that 1 unit line and the 2 units for height. Now here, that's 5 units, here and here. So I'm going to draw those 5 unit lines, and that is drawing 3.